Alright, all you streetlight crusaders, and I guess a couple of you Christmas carolers out there as well tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And a little bit of information for you fans out there hoping for the rest of the Under the Radar's 5-year celebration. Our happy elves are currently uploading the rest of the show as we speak, and hopefully before Christmas morning, the rest of the show will be uploaded. But as we said before, it was going to be one of our longest shows yet. And yeah, clocking in at about an hour and 48 minutes, definitely was one of our longest shows, and it's going to take a while for us to upload. So yes, we do appreciate your patience, and it will be available just in time for Santa Claus milk and cookies to be gone underneath your Christmas trees. And speaking of Christmas trees, folks, it is now time for us to talk about what happened during this week's edition of Monday Night Raw from Des Moines, Iowa. Once again, because apparently it was a pre-taped edition of Monday Night Raw before Christmas. Nice! And Raw would kick off with a dangerous set of pyrotechnics next to a whole bunch of Christmas trees and presents, which made me wonder throughout all of Monday Night Raw, how in the world did those trees not set on fire by the pyrotechnics? But besides that, Raw would kick off with Kevin Owens spoiling for a fight and wanting revenge against the AOP and Seth Rollins, but instead would get an angry Mojo Riley of all people, wanting his pound of flesh and wanting to get revenge on one Kevin Owens. And then it would lead into a no disqualification match between the two, where Mojo Riley would not only do his unique finisher of a, I guess, Gorilla Press slam into a bunch of chairs for a near fall, and would even be able to do a deadly driver, which is basically a toss off the top rope into a whole bunch of stairs, circa Mick Foley versus Big Show style for a near fall. But ultimately, the prize fighter would get his ultimate prize by taking out Mojo Riley with a KO stunner and a pop-up powerbomb through a table for Kevin Owens to make quick work of one Mojo Riley via pinfall. And after taking out Mojo Riley in a match that he had featured on Monday Night Raw for the first time in well over, 10 months? We would then see Kevin Owens shift gears back to Seth Rollins and the AOP, calling him out there for a fight, only for Seth Rollins to try to get Kevin Owens to join alongside of him on the right side of history, only for the prize fighter not only to say no, but also to super kick Seth Rollins in the face for the AOP to come into the ring and beat the living daylights flag tag out of him, only for Seth Rollins to try to stomp him once, but for Kevin Owens to still have a little bit of fight left in him to resist, only for the AOP to take the rest of the fight out of him, and Seth Rollins to finish the job once again with a blackout to the back of the skull of one Kevin Owens. And then Samoa Joe would say his family was filled with bad men, his father was a bad man, but these men here are thugs, and if you're gonna go after them, you have to go after them to take them out completely, because if they're telling the story by the end of all of this, it's gonna get real dark around here. And Samoa Joe would definitely be right to describe that about the Authors of Pain, along with the fact of mentioning them last week that there were 2 dangerous nuclear warheads waiting to be set off, and Seth Rollins was the one to press the button. Very good analogies by Samoa Joe behind the desk. You know, he's good at what he does, in and out of the ring. And after that little bit of violence to start off Monday Night Raw, the next match to take place on Raw would see none other than Bobby Lashley going one-on-one against Cedric Alexander. And during this match, action would go back and forth, not only seeing Cedric Alexander pull off a beautiful Ase moonsault from the apron to the outside to Bobby Lashley, and even doing his signature handspring back roundhouse kick to the face of one Bobby Lashley. But during this match, Lana would get up on the apron and would announce that next week their wedding is gonna take place, and would say that Cedric is invited, and I got a feeling would kill all the momentum of one Cedric. Even though he was able to pull off a beautiful rope flip plancha to the outside of the ring, and even a suicide dive to take out the Almighty One. Unfortunately, the match would come to an end at again with a hellacious spear from Bobby Lashley, for Lashley to win this match and get some much needed momentum prior to his wedding next week via pinfall. And after the match was over, meanwhile backstage, Seth Rollins would explain his actions of why in the world he attacked none other than Kevin Owens once again for another week in a row. After trying to extend the olive branch and the fact that he got his hand slapped away or kicked in the face, he decided to retaliate the only way he knew how. And after that moment of retaliation, we would go street side with none other than R-Truth going throughout the streets of New York City to celebrate the holidays to light, as he would say, the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Christmas tree, only to realize that the tree in Rockefeller Center has been lit for weeks, and the invitation he got was written in Chinese, and only for him to get a roll-up, and next thing you know, Akira Tozawa, your new 24/7 7-Eleven Big Gulp champion, to move on to get pinned later on that night by R-Truth after none other than Santa Claus would get involved and get the 24/7 championship himself. And even though we got that all out of order with R-Truth once again regaining the 24/7 championship, John Cone would have enough and say, "Hey, I've been out here all night, it's the night before Christmas, I'm going home." Only for Akira Tozawa and R-Truth to call a truce, say Merry Christmas, and just walk throughout the streets of New York City having a good old time outside of the realms of the 24/7 championship. And you know, I give credit to John Cone, going through all this crap all year long and finally putting his foot down just, 2 days before Christmas to not put up with the whole 24/7 random championship nonsense. More than I can say about the referees back in the day with the Hardcore Championship, and for those who are keeping a record, we completely forgot how many times R-Truth won the 24/7 championship, but we think it's somewhere around the neighborhood of, 25 to 26? He's about 2 or 3 away from beating Raven's record, and I got a feeling he's gonna do it most likely before WrestleMania, or after, depending on what they decide to do with the championship by then. But besides the 24/7 championship shenanigans that was spread throughout the night like fine peanut butter, folks, the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see Zack Ryder going one-on-one against the Scottish Terminator himself, Drew McIntyre. And during this match, even though Zack Ryder put up one hell of a fight by not only doing a baseball slide to the outside of the ring to try to take out the Scottish Terminator once and for all, but yeah, what Zack Ryder didn't know is that once that model 101 has his sights on you, yeah, it's just about over, because when he tried to go off the top rope for his makeshift Rough Rider, it would be a rough ride for him indeed, because it would end with a disgusting powerbomb leading directly into a boomstick of a Claymore for Drew McIntyre to win this match and to get some momentum going into the next year via pinfall. And after the match was over, when Kurt Hawkins tried to come into the ring and check on his best friend, he would get a little bit too, because he would get thrown outside the ring, and then Kurt Hawkins would receive a Claymore kick along with a glass cow kicks, and even Zack Ryder will receive a future shock DDT and a warning from a person who claims that 2020 is gonna be his year. Yeah, Drew McIntyre seems to be a man on a mission, and I got a feeling it's gonna try to make up for last year for coming up short at the Royal Rumble match against Seth Rollins. And I got a feeling he is gonna win the Royal Rumble for this year, because he was the person I picked last year besides Seth Metal, but once again, he got eliminated. Surprise elimination too. And after that little bit of future shock delivered by Drew McIntyre, none other than the man Becky Lynch would make her way to the ring and call out Asuka, saying that she's been quiet for too long and she wants to prove that she is the man once again by taking on Asuka in a one-on-one match, only for Asuka to remind her what happened at TLC, only for Becky Lynch not only to say that she doesn't care, but to actually challenge her in Japanese. I didn't know that she could speak it, but then again, the man is full of surprises. So I got a feeling this match is going to take place at the Royal Rumble, and if it does, this will really do come full circle, like I said last week for the Tuesday Night Special, and I really can't wait to see how that's gonna go down. And speaking of things going down, folks, the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see none other than Aleister Black going one-on-one against a person who graduated from the Black and Brave Academy, which was one of Seth Rollins' proteges who would unfortunately not last that long in the ring, because the second the match started, he would get kicked directly in the face, and yeah, match over. He would fade to black with a black mask in very little to no time, and Aleister Black would win. And to make matters even worse, folks, another gentleman with no name posted down below would have to fight against Buddy Murphy, who would come out right after Aleister Black would win the match, and he would make quick work of another graduate of the Black and Brave Academy of Seth Rollins, only for him to suffer the wrath of Murphy's Law for Buddy Murphy to win this match in quick fashion as well. But just as quick as he won that match, Aleister Black would be in the ring to deliver a message to Buddy Murphy by hitting him with a black mask, and it would be announced that next week, to close out Monday Night Raw for the decade, it would be Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black in a rematch from TLC. And I can't wait to see how this match is gonna go down and how many Tiger knees will take place before the year's out. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would feature none other than the one and only Ricochet going one-on-one against the premier athlete of 205 Live, Tony Nese. Now, quick question, folks, is Tony Nese still a part of 205 Live, or is that all defunct now? Apparently, according to the Maestro, he still is, but regardless of where he is now, during this match, he would be able to pull off a very beautiful Chris Jericho lion salt and even catch Ricochet pre-flight with a palm strike before he could even hit off the ropes. And just before he was about to finish off the one and only with a running knees, he would get caught with not only a super kick, but a ripcord version of the recoil for Ricochet to bounce back and win this match right before Christmas via pinfall. And we almost forgot to mention he went back to wearing his Nightwing outfit for the said contest. Because he's been wearing so many different superhero and anti-hero outfits throughout the year, I decided to point that one out. Still to this day, my favorite one that he's worn thus far, besides the Nightwing one, has to be the Red Hood outfit. Yeah, I think I like that one the most. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see none other than Charlotte Flair going one-on-one against Laurel Van Ness, or for those who know her in WWE as Chelsea Green. And my God, the fact that they had Laurel Van Ness debut on Monday Night Raw just the night before Christmas prior to the year end definitely proves how special she truly is. And she gave Charlotte Flair one hell of a fight during this match, but unfortunately in the end, even though she was able to do a modified version of, I guess, Paul Burchill's old finisher of a stomp, with the exception that she did it against the bottom turnbuckle pose, Laurel Van Ness would suffer the wrath of a big boot and a figure 8 leg lock by Charlotte Flair for none other than Charlotte to win this match via submission. And sorry for those folks out there, I know her as Laurel Van Ness or as Recluse from Lucha Underground. Even though I was only able to see her in like 1 or 2 matches over there as Recluse, still very proud to see that she's still on Monday Night Raw. Hopefully she wrestles more in the near future on the flagship show, as what they call it, but I can't wait to see what she can do in NXT along with Samuel Shaw, which according to the Maestro is still in NXT as well under the name of Dexter Lumis. You know, I gotta check out NXT more often, and I may start reporting on it more, most likely next year. Wonder how that's gonna work out since it's on a Wednesday night, but we'll figure it out. But besides that, folks, next match we have up is none other than Randy Orton and the Viking Raiders going one-on-one against the OC in a 6-man tag match. And during this match, despite Randy Orton having a bum wheel, with the help of the Viking Raiders, they would be able to bring a very impressive fight to the OC during this match, despite Eric getting hit with a makeshift double-A spine buster, and I'm being told by the Maestro, oh wait, yeah, it is Eric getting hit with a spine buster for a near fall, and even seeing Randy Orton still being able to pull off a one-legged suplex for a near fall. But ultimately, this match will come to an emphatic end despite the Viking Raiders hitting a Viking experience on AJ Styles for a near fall that would get broken up by Carl Anderson. Would see the Vipers strike back during this match by hitting Carl Anderson with an RKO from out of nowhere, and even trying to take out none other than Luke Gallows with an RKO as well, but unfortunately would be met with something else from out of nowhere in the form of a phenomenal forearm by AJ Styles for the OC to win this match via pinfall. And immediately after the match was over, the Street Profits would pop up on the screen explaining what's gonna happen for next week's Monday Night Raw and running down what's gonna happen for this week's Monday Night Raw before going with their classic catchphrase of "We want the smoke." And oh, before we forget, we almost forgot that Liv Morgan would once again try to go under her metamorphosis of doing things that she wants to do for a "to be continued" sign to pop up on the bottom of the screen. And once again, my speculations of last week of her becoming a new associate to Bray Wyatt may be coming true. I wonder how that would work though. Would she be the Venus? We'll think about this more next week, because the next match, speaking of monsters, Eric Rowan would go one-on-one against yet another graduate from the Black and Brave Academy that I forgot the name of in a one-on-one match. If you can consider it that, because this guy, instead of wanting to fight Eric Rowan, would decide to give him a candy cane and sneak outside the ring, giving it to him as a peace offering, say, "Oh, I don't want to fight you. I'm just gonna step outside the ring, I'm gonna leave, and then I'm gonna make my way to that cage," and next thing you know, he would get flattened, thrown back inside the ring after he got pancaked on an exposed LED, and then would get hit with a Mike Knox crossbody and 2 separate iron claws for Eric Rowan to win this match via pinfall. Man, so no matter what week we head into, folks, nobody learns to stop messing with that cage. And not to mention, prior to this match, Eric Rowan would be talking to whatever's inside that cage, saying, "You look as beautiful as ever," and would just, have some form of baby talk to whatever is in that cage. Now I see the reason why a lot of people wants to see what's in it, because if it's so beautiful and Eric Rowan loves it, it has to be something either monstrous proportion or a mogwai that was given to him during Gremlins 2. I don't know. but I got a feeling before the end of the year or before the Royal Rumble, we're gonna find out what's inside that cage. And by we, I mean them, because I don't want to know, because I got a feeling he might come to this very studio and beat the daylights out of me for finding out. So, you guys figure it out. I don't want no part of it. And besides trying to figure out what's inside Rowan's cage, the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see none other than No Way Jose going one-on-one against Rusev. And I do believe that day was his birthday, because he would say it's Rusev Day and would go on a tangent about how he's happy that Lana's finally getting married to Bobby Lashley, because it's going to be the happiest day of his life without Lana. And to prove so, folks, during this match, he would actually whiff off a chop that No Way Jose would do to him during this match, leading into a nasty Machka kick for him to win this match in quick fashion via pinfall. And after the match was over, Rusev would get his, as they would say, dance on after the match was over, and would receive a kiss from two separate conga line dancers and would celebrate on the ramp while snow would fall from the sky, being one of the most eligible bachelors in wrestling today. And I got a feeling that's what they're gonna go with in the near future for Rusev, and by the looks of it, he seems to be real happy about it. Not bad, Rusev, not bad. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw, which would be the main event of the evening, which would see Seth Rollins going one-on-one against Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. And during this match, Rey Mysterio would definitely bring the fight, because not only he would be able to pull off his slip and slide, I guess, power bomb to the outside of the ring for a near fall, but you would also see him pull off a tornado satellite like DDT during this match, and even be able to counter one of Seth Rollins' moves in the corner into a Hurricane Rana. But Seth Rollins will come back during this match with not only a pendulum backbreaker and a buckle bomb that looked absolutely nasty during this said match, but then would try to finish the job by going for a curb stomp, only for it to get countered into a Frankensteiner directly into the 619. And before Rey Mysterio could retain his United States Championship the right way, next thing you know, Akam and Razor would make their way up to the apron, knock off Rey Mysterio, beat the living daylights out of him, for Rey Mysterio to retain his championship due to the AOP via disqualification. And after the match was over, they would beat the crap out of Rey Mysterio, drag him up to the apron, or more or less up to the stage, and was just about to put him through the announce table, only for Samoa Joe to say, "I'm not moving, because if I get up, I'm not getting up to move." And for the AOP to actually try to engage combat with him, only for Seth Rollins to back off and say, hey, we got no problems with him. Leave him alone. But the second Samoa Joe took off his coat and still wanted to fight the AOP, Seth Rollins would turn around with an icy cold look in his eyes and say, "Finish him." And then the second that order was given, Samoa Joe, even though he would put up one hell of a fight, would still get the crap kicked out of him, while Seth Rollins would finish off Rey Mysterio with a blackout next to the presents up by the Christmas tree, and for the AOP to do a double power bomb to Samoa Joe through the announce table to close out Monday Night Raw before Christmas for this year. And yeah, I got a feeling there's gonna be some swift retaliation from the leader of the Nation of Violence by next week to close out this year, and Raw is gonna lose yet another announcer to another wrestler who wanted to fight him. Because, you know, for those who don't know, Dio Madden is currently training to fight against Brock Lesnar, and yeah, I got a feeling a lot of people are looking for revenge before this year ends or after it starts. And I can't wait to see how it's gonna turn out, especially with how angry Samoa Joe can get. And with that said, folks, we might as well head back into this music, and when we return, we'll be back with more Christmas tree delight as the Tuesday night before Christmas special rolls on, right after this. So don't go hanging those mistletoes just yet, folks, and stay tuned.